And we are live. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, February 20th. I am Lainey Savante Wilkin, and I'm going more by Savante, as you know. So thank you for being here. Shannon, Patty, you're already here. Shannon, do you recognize the painting behind me? I am in a remote viewing location, and I'm so glad you're here. The show tonight is going to be amazing. So, yes, we're going to have Miss Patty here in just a second, but I just wanted to touch in to welcome you here. We'll wait for, I'm here. I'm not seeing any live footage. Oh, we're live. Um, so let us know if you're here and put your name there. Shannon, I see you, Patty. But what's live is that uh, I'm live. Patty will be here live. We don't see you. We can only communicate with you. Hey, Denise, in the comments. So that's how that's going to go. And I'm just so excited to share with you. We have so much to talk about tonight. You have to stick around for the whole show. First, Patty and I are going to get on in just a few minutes, and we're going to gab about some really awesome topics tonight. Also, I just have a really special announcement, especially for those of you who are interested in taking our upcoming certification program with the Food Healing Oracle deck. So that is a special announcement I'll wait till the end to do. A couple things I want to say before we get started is that when I first named the Nourish Your Soul show, and you know, if you don't know, we have a monthly one that's a very big global show on the healthylife.net network. I wanted you to know that Nourish Your Soul is not just about eating. And so you're going to see more and more guests come on here, and they may be associated with Food Healing Oracle Deck in some way, because of course we all eat, right? But there are going to be other ways that we need to nourish ourselves. And today is one of those examples that we can actually talk about how you can nourish your soul, because as we get older, some of those things have to be really reinforced and we forget. So we are here to remind ourselves, hey, we can actually reverse age. We can actually do these techniques. We can do these modalities. We can tune into ourselves. We can meditate. We can do all these things that actually, because the tools are already inside. So, with that said, hi, Lisa. I see you now. Okay, good, Patty. So, first off, I always want to thank our advertisers. So, Coach Heather Phillips, she's amazing. She just recently taught Magic Meridians course, and I love it that we're incorporating that more and more. And Linda McBee with Happy DNA Drops. That you'll have to, we're going to have Linda on the show soon. She's coming. She's actually going to be in our upcoming class with the certification. So thank you. And then, of course, the Food Healing Oracle Deck sponsors this. All right. So I'm going to leave some of the other announcements to the end. And make sure, again, if you're coming on, when you're coming on, that you're letting me know you're here. And I get to introduce. How do I how do I pronounce your last name?
Degree.
DeGrood with
With the D on it.
DeGood.
Like the good.
Oh my goodness. So I just call her Patty the Great, and I'm sure you all do too. I have to say, every now and then someone comes into my life that makes a huge impression for me, and she's one of them. And it's because most of you know I keep my hands and my heart and my mind very busy with many things, bringing things out to the world. And sometimes I have to stop and look at how can I better myself with some self-care, and how can I move my body so it can keep up with my brain, and how can I love myself better by starting with me first. And then this woman came along, and we met, and it was an instant simpatico. And I think we've been greatly better for one another ever since. And I know she's made that impact for others. And so I'm thrilled because I feel in the last few months, so much has changed for me, my body, my health, my mindset. And it's really helped me even deepen my practice with food. So without further ado, I can go on and on about her. I'm just going to bring her on, and she's just like literally right there. So yeah, so slide in. So
Hi, everybody.
everybody, Patty's here. Hey, Trish. Oh goodness. All right, so Patty's here, and we're gonna do our best. And I'm gonna, Denise, you know, you're so good at this, or anybody. We want to talk to each other, but we want to make sure that you can hear us. And I know in the past you said I can't hear you as soon as I turn, but hopefully we can talk. But I am talking to Patti too, so let us know how the sound works. And we are coming to you from a very beautiful, small, quiet island off the coast of Florida, Southwest Florida. So Patty's in the house.
Small magic island.
A magic island.
I'm sure everybody knows we survived Ian, and there's a lot of people out there that are still struggling. And hopefully, actually today in class we had two ladies who lost their homes.
Yeah.
They came to practice and they were strong and beautiful. It was great.
So one of the things I've talked to you about offline, is that I have a very athletic background. I grew up as a softball player and I was a spin instructor for many years, and I kind of and a golfer, and I'm just kind of a little bit hardcore in my sports. And so I always thought yoga was I've dipped in and out of yoga.
Right.
And I really hadn't found that connection, although I'm a practicing Hindu and I'm very much spent a lot of time in India and Nepal. And I've really embraced a lot of the culture, but yoga never really sank in for me until I met her. So let's just start off with telling our audience a little bit about your background and why I have an affinity, and now it all would make sense.
Okay.
Okay.
So I finished my teacher training in 2018. So I'm kind of new as far as yoga life. I practiced for about 3 years before that. And one of my friends who painted this painting back here, Shannon, she's watching right now. She was a big influence on getting me started in yoga.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go, Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon. Thanks. She's been great for me too. So I always came from a very athletic family: tennis, golf, sailing, the whole thing. And I went to school and became a physical education major and taught school in Vegas, mostly physical education, for 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time, and played competitive tennis. So we have the same kind of sporty girl feeling.
Sporty girl.
Sporty girl.
Sporty spice.
Yeah. When I came to the yoga studio, I was at a point where I needed more than just running forward or hitting a ball with a racket. I needed to go inside. I needed to calm down and calm my mind and find myself. And I did it laying on the floor of a yoga studio because I didn't really know a lot about yoga, but there's many styles. And I started with a yoga called restorative. And it's just putting your body in different shapes for a long period of time. And then after that, some yin, which is kind of the same way. And then I finally stood up and started taking class. And I just loved it. And that's how I became, so involved with yoga. I kept working on my daily practice because yoga can offer some challenges, mostly between your ears. And as soon as you quiet the mind, everything falls into place.
Like everything else. Well, one of the reasons we called tonight, helping with aging and accessing the fountain of youth, that's a term that you use a
Yeah.
lot, is that and I'll let you explain your interpretation of that, but I agree. As we age, and I would say that a good majority of our circle are 50s to 70s plus, what you say, something
Yeah.
like that. We're
Mhm.
sort of all in that range.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but a good majority of us are. And so I notice that with people who are interested in the food healing oracle deck, it's a lot of people who have been there, done that with their diets or lifestyles, and they're now really seeing how important it is to feed the body temple for longevity.
Yes.
And we're seeing people not doing that and not being on the planet anymore.
Right.
So all the ways that we can pay greater attention, greater affection,
Yeah.
And tap into the fountain of youth, and you believe it's through yoga, which I agree with you. So let's talk about that.
Okay, on a practical side, we practice yoga with great affection. We don't try to push our body. We take ourselves into different shapes or exercises. Everyone knows warrior one, warrior two. We do them with a big emphasis on the joints. So joint mobility and lengthening the spine and allowing the muscles to become relaxed, because when someone tells you I'm stretching, literally they're not. You can't take a chicken breast on the counter and pull it long. Muscles don't stretch, but you can get them in a relaxed state so that they're at their longest potential.
Great.
Yeah. And I remember when I was in my teacher training, I was the oldest one. I was, yeah, over 60. Everybody else was way younger. And
Mm.
I asked my yoga teacher one time, who was in her 40s and so smart, I said, Jamie, why do people come to yoga when they're my age? And she shocked me. She said, they come to prepare for death. What?
Wow.
What are you talking about? And she said, well, you're at a time where you can slow down and get to know yourself. So when we come to our mat, it's a time for us to be in our own little universe. And
Mm.
oftentimes during class, I'll tell everybody, put a little bubble around yourself. Make a little bubble and claim that space for you. And within that bubble, follow along, relax, be kind to your body, and move with gratitude, and things will happen.
Before you continue, I just want to see by show of hands or comments, how many of you do yoga, or what is your relationship with yoga? If you feel like being honest and saying, I don't do any yoga, I hate yoga, or I'm an avid yoga. Just let us know your level of yoginess, and that helps us also see who we're talking to
Right.
as we're moving along in this discussion.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
It does help.
So Denise said that is powerful. Prepare for death. Ooh.
Yeah. And Denise, at first I was kind of taken aback, and then I sat and ingested it and thought, you know what? Who does that? Who actually does that? Well, I found out a lot of people do, and now I do too. And
Yeah.
you guys can think about it and join as well.
Well, what I found, and you and I have had this discussion. Hey, Jenny. Jenny wants to do yoga,
Yay,
and
Jenny.
Lisa does. I do yoga on occasion. So I always thought, and I was always looking for the point of weight loss and fitness. And so, as a cycle instructor, I was putting the pedal to the metal for reals. And what happens is when you don't stay in a certain endurance level, you go into anaerobic, and
Right.
that's really bad for the body.
It is.
And so you're overdoing your heart rate, you're overdoing your heart, you're overexerting, your cortisol levels go up, and
Stress.
and then it wreaks havoc on the whole body, and then you got to really have to go into balancing. So I did that for honestly 10, 12 years of cycling, and then gave that a rest when I tried to be cool, and I was with these young 20-year-olds, and I was trying to keep up, and I tore my IT band. It was a little tear, and it took months, and that was the end of that. And I thought, what am I going to do next? Anyways, so coming to you, and I'm thinking yoga is going to be all simple and sweet. And I'm thinking, when you say, she says in class, anybody feeling that heat building? And it's amazing the message of less is more,
Yeah.
because you're doing less and suddenly I'm sweating and I'm moving, and it's like, wow, I'm really connecting in with the body parts.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And, you know, at the risk of being repetitive for those of you that already know about yoga, yoga is a word that actually means to yoke or to join.
Mhm.
And so we're spending time on the mat, your practice. But the goal there is to have the mind and the body join. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of years in my life. I'm sitting here, my physical self, but my mind is all over the room. And it is such a lovely feeling when you can finally come inside. You get on your mat and you're not thinking of anything else but your movement, your breath, very important, your breath. And I would just really encourage you guys to give it a try and know that it's not competitive, and know that you don't have to go into the class thinking, I'm not good, I don't know enough, because that's not what it's about. It's about you becoming you.
Okay, I have to, she has humor like us. So, all right, this is Jenny,
Yes.
and Jenny is the artist of those amazing yoga mats.
Oh,
So
I
we're
love my mat, Jenny.
Jenny, she has the Buddha mat.
Yes, I do.
I used to do it, but want to. Oh, I have a shit ton of yoga mats. Yeah. So Jenny, if you don't know her, Jenny Willing is astonishing. She and Shannon should get together and
Yeah,
have a conversation. Uh, Jenny Shannon did the painting, a lot of paintings in this house. But we did a series of meditations, and then I want to talk about that for a minute.
good.
Meditation. So I had a record label that was specifically for meditations and prayers and affirmations. And we did 5 of them. You could still find them, I think, on Spotify and different places, Amazon, maybe YouTube, called Gulf Coast Meditations. Jenny did she painted all the cover art for all the albums, and then people love them, and then anyways we turned them into yoga mats, and hence when you come to our local, we all have them, and if you want to know about them, you can go to well, anyways, ask me about them and I can send you info. That's a whole nother subject. But earlier Patty said something about the deterrent or the resistance usually is what's between the ears, and she does brilliant meditations in her classes. And of course I've been doing meditations and recording them, and sometimes we play them. But let's just talk about, when we're talking about anti-aging, and there are people saying that, they've, I won't even use that word, but they've had tremendous healing experiences through meditation. So what's your relationship with meditation?
Well, I'm a daily meditator.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Yoga was invented so that people could sit still for hours at a time. It was actually,
Meditate.
yeah, for meditation. That's really what it's all about. But then, it evolved over all these centuries and came to America and became a different thing. I love that now yoga in America is so much about what's between the ears and not just how twisty you can get on a mat. That
Hmm.
makes a big difference. But as far as the Fountain of Youth, I had an amazing, amazing thing happen today. I did a life screening and they drew blood, and I was very nervous about it because I haven't been perfect in my eating. Again, why am I qualifying that? It's things we do to ourselves.
But since you've been reading the Food Healing Oracle deck,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah, no, that has been amazing. Oh my gosh, like today I did a shake and I had to look up in the Food Oracle book one of the things that was included because I just felt like I needed to know.
That was a shameless plug, but it was like right there. I just had to.
Just dropped it like a big red
Okay, so
tomato.
tell us, all right. So you went to the screening.
Yeah, so I went to the screening, and not to give too much information, but they drew blood and they were right then and there able to give me results of my cholesterol, my triglycerides. And I'm just going to be honest, I haven't done it for 2 years. And I was a little high on everything 2 years ago. But I adopted this new plan for yoga, which I'll share with you in a minute because it's kind of funny. Long story short, all my levels are in normal range, well
Mm.
within normal range. And yeah, that was like a little private victory for me. I
Yeah,
was really
not little,
stunned.
big,
Yeah,
big.
I was stunned and super happy. But I say to my students all the time, think about, we do what I call toothbrush yoga. So you wouldn't get up in the morning and not brush your teeth, or go to bed at night without brushing your teeth. So there's time in the day to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So yoga should be part of every day, and it can be just 15 minutes. It's about taking that time for self-care, to sit down, to move the body into shapes that will benefit, make your joints more mobile, your muscles stronger, this muscle especially,
Mm.
because you become very centered when you're taking care of yourself and doing it regularly. So the proof is in the pudding. Didn't I know I'm putting her on the spot. Something, she had a breakthrough the other day.
Which breakthrough? I have many of them lately. Do you remember what it was?
Well, I don't know. And for the point of the story,
Oh
it
yeah.
probably doesn't even matter. But
Okay.
it was something we would do that was a bit challenging. And she would kind of, oh, I'm not sure. And then all of a sudden, one day she's just there,
Yeah.
just there. And she
Yeah.
looked at me and she said, "Do you see me?" I said, "Oh, I see you. I
Mm.
see you." And that's the way it works. That's the toothbrush yoga.
Yeah, no question. So we talk about chi, energetic chi in the body and flow
The
in,
naughties.
in the nadis, in the
Mhm.
meridians, if you're watching this, Coach Heather.
Yes.
And we started incorporating, really starting to see that connection to your
Yes.
organs
Yeah.
and to when we're doing a stretch or when we're doing a posture position,
And then time of day.
time of day,
Time of day
how different things are happening in the
for
body.
the meridian work. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was amazing.
So I think that once you start making that internal dialogue and understanding what is happening beneath the surface here, then you can start to really hone in on things. And I was thinking about you, Denise. You're here. Denise does EFT or tapping,
Yeah.
and that's actually tapping into meridians. And that is another way. So and then I like to bring in the spirit, of course, and that's where I believe that when everything is flowing and the chi is moving, then we can open up our third eye, we can start connecting, and that's how we can really increase our intuition and start activating better choices, particularly with our diet. So,
Particularly. Yeah.
particularly with their diet, because I don't know about you. I mean, you've been doing yoga a long time, but have you noticed that lately you're being more conscious about your food?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have discussions sometime in class about, do you eat before you do your practice? Do you eat after your practice? And that's just another way that you can become really in tune with your own body. Because it's some people, like my friend Shannon, she's got to have a little something before she does her practice. She just turns it right into energy. And I'm one of those people that just can't have anything to eat before I practice. I just feel better empty.
So I'm gonna just see if anyone else notices this, but Patty, like exactly where you are right now, you have I was just gonna say it kind of looked like a pineapple, and then I went into the idea, well, what's our pineapple card?
Yeah, what is
Is expansion. It is like
it?
she is the expander because she gets our bodies to expand. And I don't know all the names, but she does one where you after you're done doing it, your leg feels longer than the other. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. What's it
It's
called?
just a series
It's
of
a series
stretches
of
on your
stretches,
back. Yeah.
and
You
then you
lay
do
your
the
leg.
other, and then you feel everything. But you do. I think we both do expanding. We expand possibilities. We
Yeah.
expand um, our empowerment for people in what we both do
Right.
for each other and for the people, your students, my students. And I think that's all about is that we're always while we're here on this planet, it's about stretching. It's about stretching all aspects of who we are in good ways. Because when we get contracted, we don't really thrive. We don't
Mm-mm.
really grow. We have to continue to stretch and go sometimes beyond the limits. Don't you
Expand.
think?
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've been doing the yoga practice at my house here, and one of the students in the class offered her building. So this morning we all went over there, and of course there were people that we didn't know. Well, of course
Yeah.
this one knew everybody.
I
I
know
didn't know
everybody. I knew
everybody.
some people.
Yeah. So it kind of made me stutter step for a second, and then I went, "Oh no, I'm just going to stride up there to the front of the class and do what I normally do." I
Yeah.
think all of us do that every once in a while. Check yourself. Am I up to it? So once you get on your mat, and there's a saying, it's called your mat, your practice, do it your
Mhm.
way. It just, the energy in the room was so beautiful, and I just wrote it. Like
Yeah.
I wrote it like lightning, and it was just great.
You were in papaya. She was
I
in
went,
flow.
everybody was.
Yeah, everybody was flowing. Lots of papaya going on today. So I wanted to take, oh, Janae's here. Yay!
Janae.
Does anybody have any questions, like for myself or for Patty, particularly about yoga? Because I really want you to have this opportunity to tap in and say, I don't do it because it hurts my back, or I do it, just any questions you may have that she can provide support. And what I would like to do in just a few minutes here is pull cards. And I want to pull cards to just tune in to see if there's any resistance or any message you need to know around movement, particularly yoga. I mean, we're talking about yoga tonight, but the whole idea is to get you to realize that this fountain of youth is just doesn't show up. It's activation, it's action, right? It's our tomatoes. It's movement, it's meditation, it's prayer, it's mindset, it's food, it's nourishment. And so if you had any questions, we would love to be able to support you with those. Denise. Okay, let's see what Denise. Do you offer online or do I have to move? Well, there's a good reason. There's always a good reason to come to Pine Island when
Yeah.
not in hurricane
Yeah,
season. Yeah, that's
everybody's
true.
going down anyway. The island's full as
That's true. It's
usual.
packed. It's
Yeah.
packed right now.
Traffic issues. I don't currently, but I have this friend that might have us expand into that.
Yes.
But I would encourage you to just look wherever you live for a place that does, if you're new to yoga, go in and just do a beginner class or a restorative class. Restorative is just so much just laying there, but the challenge is to get in there and quiet the mind. We all have a couple little monkeys running around between our ears, and that's the best place to start, is where you can experience this quietness. It's a tough one. I brought my niece into yoga class and I thought, okay, I'll start her. She's like 32 years old. I took her to a restorative class and she couldn't wait to get out of there. She was fidgeting the whole time. It was a big challenge for her. Meanwhile, her old auntie was just all cuddly cozy and having the best time. But, we all come in at a different level.
Well, what came to mind as you were speaking just now, and maybe because I was also looking at something Lisa said,
Right.
and Lisa said, I'm not very flexible, so I find yoga to be difficult. And I just, before you answer that, I just want to interject is that one of the awarenesses I have had since I've been now actively doing this 5 days a week
Mhm.
is that as an advanced theta healer and an intuitive and an empath, I've noticed so often that our emotions, whether you're having some emotional struggles or some mental health challenges, are getting stuck in tissues, and that's a lot of things that go on when we're having pain. And I notice it so often in my clients, and I can do it with myself as well. Is that you sometimes see or feel or experience pain in the body. And sometimes that's kind of the last stop where it's been kind of percolating. And I don't know if you can resonate. I'm sure you can resonate with that, Patty,
Right, for sure.
that other things have been going on. And sometimes they get stuck. And as soon as you can clear them, they move. But I also know that I've experienced some things that have been going on with me in where I felt inflexible. That's where I got tuned into this, Lisa, in the body. What is going on in the hips, or where am I not feeling supported in my lower back, metaphorically? And then then we move into a stretch, and I actually get the awareness and kind of the download of what just happened. So there's so much more going on for me because I'm connecting what that pain was in yoga and when it releases. So I think, I don't know, in your experience as a teacher,
Mhm.
if some of these things have shown up for you a lot with the emotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge. I'm not going to dismiss you and say, oh, just go do it. That's not the right way to approach it. My personal experience, like I said, was just start something that looks really easy. And the key word is accessible to you. And then apply the toothbrush. Stay at it. Stay at it and make it a reward for you. You shouldn't go in, I should on you. Sorry. It's not a good idea to go in.
Consider.
I know I should on you. I don't want to should on anybody, but you would consider going in so gently to yourself. And when we practice, we always practice with great affection for self and a soft determination. So
Mm.
find what works for you. There's so much on YouTube right now. You can type in uh, restorative yoga, and there are lovely teachers. And find one who you can relate to. And then remember, if their forehead is on their knees, that's their knees and their forehead. Yours might be 2 feet away, but that's glorious you.
Mm, beautiful.
My teacher that I love so much, she said, Guru, G, you are you.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
So remind yourself when you're in a difficult pose that it's only difficult to you and say, gee, You are you. This is me.
Yeah.
And celebrate it for a second.
I was talking to someone today, and just the relevance is that they didn't want to do something because some other people would see them doing it. And
Yeah.
and it just reminded me, like, do you boo? Like, it doesn't matter. But when you're on the mat, I've come to realize is that I'm not thinking about anything else, not who I have to call, not what's due, what needs to be worked on, not a laundry. It is so centering. It is just this absolute moment of presence. And in that moment, you just don't give a hoot, could have said something else,
You're right.
about anything or anyone except your connection to your breath. And there's something
That's what we gotta talk about.
yeah, let's talk about breath because there's something so it's the ultimate sacredness.
It is.
And so when you can connect to your breath, you're connecting to the divine, you're connecting to life. And so you always say yoga is so much more. And now I'm like preaching the gospel a little bit
Right.
about it. But yeah, let's talk about breath. Go ahead. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, you know, breath work can be very complicated, and you can go through all these different, they have names of breath and different exercises that we do. But on a practical level, if we were all just now to take a very deep, slow breath, let's do it.
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't care. Take a big, deep,
No.
slow breath and then open your mouth and sigh. I hope you guys did that because that felt so good.
Yeah.
My whole neck just relaxed.
And just the room kind of settles in, like
Yeah.
everything. You come into one accord when you
Let's
do
do
that.
one more in case they didn't join
Okay,
us. All right, everybody.
here we go.
Big, deep breath through the nose. Fill the belly. Pause. Open your mouth.
You
That's powerful.
you did the 10, 9, 8, 7 the other
Mhm.
day, and there are so many ways to breathe. And aren't we grateful that we have that here? I'm always talking about being one with nature and Father Sky and Mother Earth and Father, is the air element. And so yeah, like we bring in that breath and it's everything. So how do you live? How do you have a longer, longevity on this planet? Is you learn to breathe. And you look at qigong, tai chi, yoga, the ancients, the yogis from centuries and centuries ago. This is that.
Yeah.
This is all about the breath.
Yeah, and I would encourage you to, if nothing else, sit in a chair or lay in your bed and slow, deep breaths, 10 of them. Expand your lungs. Expand your lungs. Take the breath low and slow. If you're in any kind of nerve-wracking situation, slow the breath, and you can control your emotions that way. Literally control them. Control the mind through the breath. Yeah.
So I would like to do some readings, and if
Cool.
you are into it, I want to pull from our new deck, Second Helpings, because this is more of the doing deck, and we're asking you to do you boo tonight. And so, if you would like a card pool, the topic of the intention going into the card pools tonight are what do you need to do to start moving towards greater longevity, is particularly around the topic of yoga, because that's what we're really focusing on tonight. Like, what do you need to know? What message around yoga, being flexible, and that has many connotations.
Taking time for yourself.
Taking time for yourself, staying present. I mean, there's so many, breathing, everything we've talked about in just this short order can relate to the card that's going to be delivered to you in just a few minutes here. So thank you. So follow Lisa's lead. If you would like a card pull, Patty, I'm going to pull those. And then I just want to say to Patty, um, I just love her so much. If you have further questions for Patty and you'd like to know, her classes right now are full, but she will is creating a wait list in a way
Yeah.
because we don't know where you're going because there's a lot of pineapple going on, a lot of expansion. And so if you do want to have further dialogue, we're going to put her email. Is that the best way?
I think so.
Yeah. So we're going to put her email when we're done with this. And then again, I want to have a little bit of time for announcements and let you know about a couple of live appearances as well as what's coming up.
Is it
So
already that time?
it's going to be that
Well, I'm
time.
gonna say happy trails and
but,
give it over
but
to.
okay, but stay close. I might pull you in for something.
Okay, I'm just gonna
But
move,
Patty's going to just kind of
slide
sashay.
down the couch is what's
She's
happening.
sashaying down the couch.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Yay. So honored. This was so fun and so impromptu. Nothing planned. It's like, hey, let's get people moving. Seeing that I'm having good experiences, and there's never people say I'm too old for this. I can't do that. Those are for the younger people. That is all BS, and we know that for sure. And whatever your shape or size, this is about you on that mat, or Jenny Willings artist mats,
Yeah.
and just do it. But okay, so here we are. So for those of you completely new to this show or the Food Healing Oracle deck, I don't know if you are, and if you are, please let me know. But I created these with the amazing Joanna Salerno, my partner in produce, and we wrote 2 volume decks. This is the first one, volume 1, Food Healing Oracle deck. And now our beautiful second one has come out for second helpings. Let's just get that correct. And both decks have 60 cards of absolute nourishment, including not only spiritual nourishment, but actual physical nourishment that have really bridged spirit and science together. And as an intuitive, both me and Joanne and I, we've been able to channel some messages. So these are very accurate cards. They're never wrong. If you get a card right now and you're sitting there scratching your head why I just got that, sit with it. Just sit. Do those breaths like Patty just said. Lay on your bed, think about that food, think about the message, and then you can always contact me later. But the cards, this is not those decks. There are some decks you're like, I don't like that card. I'm just going to tuck it inside and shuffle it until I get a card I want. This is not that deck. This is the deck that wants you to pay attention and really listen to either the food, the color, the word, all the above, eat the food, all of that. Okay. So with that said, oh, Susan is here, Chamberlain. All right. So I'm going to start with Miss Patty Sweeney. And again, the intention for this card pull is what is in your highest good to know around the energy of yoga, moving your body, breathing, staying in presence, something that you need to know to kind of access your own fountain of youth. Does that sound good?
That's great.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull a card for you too, Patty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Patty and Patty. So first we're going to do Patty Sweeney. And again, we're using the second helpings deck. So Patty got the wealth card, guava. So what do you need to know? So what really came to me, and these are just like snippets, and if you want further understanding of where I'm going with what I'm going to say to you, you can contact me later. But this actually, even though this is not our Goji Berry Believe cards, this is actually telling me, Patty, is that to remind you that you are a wealth of information connecting when you connect into spirit, and spirit will give you a greater understanding of when you're moving your body. You said earlier, sometimes I think you said I'm exhilarated, and other times I'm invigorated, and other times you're exhausted. You're a wealth of information. Just to stay connected, listen to your body, and breathe into those poses when you want to stretch. Like the wealth comes from inside, like dripping with it. And so it's just a reminder for you to kind of believe in yourself. Don't look at anybody else except Patty when she's teaching, and to really just keep going with it. Like you already creating wealth. You've already expanding a venue today, and now more people. So just keep sticking into like, wow, I am an embodiment of wealth, and watch what starts to happen to your body, your mindset, your health, everything.
I don't think we said that the thing we get to do.
We didn't say that.
Yeah.
I just said you manifested that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are in the Southwest Florida, a little sidebar, but Sweeney's SOS is our island mecca go-to for all things beautiful. She makes soaps, and oh my God, she's just got lotions. Our decks are there, lotions and all sorts of trinkets and homemade. Yeah. she's a yeah. So anyways, we love Patty Sweeney and she's been an island icon is the way we say that. I'm not going to get through everybody if I keep doing this. Okay, mwah, mwah, mwah. We love you, Patty. All right, Jenny, sure, I'll take one. All right. I could say something amazing about every one of you that I see, but this is really for you. These are personal cards for you to get up and get going. Ooh. All right. So you got the fear card, which is seaweed. So that for you, Jenny, is to with love and absolute um, hugs around you, is to look at what is making you feel a little resistant to moving. You know, what part of you, and I actually just think about it, is to what part of you feels fearful. See, look at the seaweed, all a little bit bound up. And the whole idea is that when we're contracted in yoga, she's learning us to be pineapple, expand and expand, allow, set yourself free, let the flow of energy come in. I'm looking over at you like to nod, like, am I agreeing with, is this how I'm speaking on her? You can be right here too if you want to add anything into this. All right, so look at seaweed in a whole new way for you, Miss Jenny. All right, so I gotta go in order here. And if we, that was Patty. And I don't know. Oh, Lisa, so sorry. You're next. Sorry, you were first. Here we go. And then, all right, something just flew out for you. All right, Lisa, you got the respect card, mulberries. I love mulberries. So, and if you get any hits on this, you are going to be taking the class here soon, Miss Patty. So Lisa, so I would say this is about respecting the body where it is and giving it permission to tell you what it's wanting to say. Like, show me why my hips aren't stretching, or show me why I'm feeling a certain way. It's being respecting yourself at the level that you are. I know she has something good to say. Go ahead, bring it in. Oh,
There you go. There you go.
yeah, I think that that respect card, and by the way, even though each person's pulling this, if we wrote these all down, I think this would be a message for every one of us, is give yourself that respect. And also, a lot of times when we say, oh, I can't move, or yoga's too hard, or my arms won't be able to connect that way, or oh, everyone's doing it by me, we're actually kind of dipping into that energetic respect of self. And so it's a matter of saying, like, wow, I may have not touched my toes this time, but amazing. Couple times down, I'm speaking personally, I'm touching my toes. Or like she said, I had a breakthrough where before I'd look at them with three heads, like they were wanting me to do something that I thought only triathletes do. And I can't believe like I do it now like butter. So anyway, so I'm really respecting seeing how my body's responding. And that's what I'm putting out for you, Miss Lisa. All right, Trish, this is for you. Is this fun, Patty?
Love it.
Yeah, you're loving it. All right, this is for um I did oh, this is for Trish. I did Patty, did Jenny. Okay, here we go. Trish was on the Meridian class. Trish. Yeah. All right. Ooh. All right, sweet. Trish, you got Moringa, which is our gratitude card. And this is actually just a reminder of going into our heart space, right? You see that heart chakra energy, and just going into the gratitude of everything that you have, everything that you are, everything that you want, and allowing sort of that energy to just move through you. Pairs would be our grace card, but gratitude is that I think everything's kind of moving in flow for you, and that you move with gratitude. And as you move into that, you will create space to start to incorporate this more and more. I know you said you were starting to do little bits of it, and start with like, I'm grateful I just did the 15 minutes, and maybe tomorrow I'm going to watch a video and do yoga for 20, and then you move it. Eventually you'll be doing it for an hour. I remember when I was in a spiritual community, I thought 5 minutes of meditation was great, and they're like, oh well, we do ours for 2 hours. I thought, who's got 2 hours? But I realized I'm so grateful, like for me 5 minutes is a lot for me, and I expand that. So just be grateful for anything that you can do at the level you can do it, because chances are if you start, you will continue to do even more. Anything else? Nope, not on that one. Okay. All right. Patty, oh, Shannon wrote, Patty helps me with modifications for my knees. Yeah, knee replacement. All right. All right. So this is a special message for you, Shannon. What message do you need to know regarding your recovery, your rehabilitation, your movement? Got the worst card. Yeah. Remember your worth and remember your value and remember that you're worth it and remember that your body's worth it when it's moving and what it feels like to have all your parts working in perfect orders, and remember how worthy that your knee is healing, and just really be loving yourself up with some self-worth. If there's ever a dip, if there's ever a doubt, just take that moment. I think you have the deck, and if not, we'll make sure that happens. But read what I wrote in the book, or I don't. Joanna and I always laugh. We never know who wrote what at this point because it's one thread of energy. But really important to look at our self worth, because a lot of us feel worthless that we won't even think that we can try yoga, that it's for us, because we look at all these skinny little yogis that are all buff and yeah. So, but even skinny little yogis don't feel like skinny little yogis. Sometimes they go into dips. I would say mental and emotional. Yeah. So, anyways, that's for you, sweets. Yeah. All right. You're worth it, girl. She's over here saying she makes the most amazing clothes. And what we're gonna have to like showcase those. God, look at all the talented people. We got yoga mats, we got the clothes. All right, Denise, this is for you. Were you gonna say something? Were you gonna say something? Okay. Denise, this is for you. Noni, expectations. We've started having this running hashtag now. It's come up in our level 2 class with Noni, is to have no Noni. No Noni is no expectations. When we put what our expectations of what our body should be doing at this age, or I should be doing this, or any of those things, I think that I have learned is to have no expectations, because when I'm watching some of these more advanced yogis in class, Carol and Patty doing things and I remember in the beginning I would say, oh, I can't do that. I've never been able to do that. And I started removing those. I'm having no expectations, because guess what? 4 weeks later, I'm doing it with them. And so I realized, just for you, Denise, oh, where to go, is to no noni, and anybody else who feels that they're putting already a mental expectation that yoga is hard and they can't do it, is to remember that kind of no noni. All right, Sue, I hope that helps. Susan, she's listening intently. I love her. Susan's an amazing reader with our community, our cherries. And this is for you. Clothes. It's our anger card. So it's very interesting. So a lot of times, um, and I think this feels the same way almost with the expectation card, is that we put a lot on us. So look at, I want you to pay attention to some of the cards that just came up in a row. Worth, expectations, anger. And so a lot of these are emotional pieces, and they also get stuck in the body, and then they don't allow us to move, and they don't allow us to stretch. They act, and then they actually can cause dis-ease, or sometimes allergies, or sometimes aversions to food. It's amazing what the body does and how it responds. So I'm just going to throw that out there, is to look at any pieces that may be stuck in there that are not allowing us to have certain things in our life, particularly some of the movement pieces. Were you going to add anything? Oh, you can sneeze. You can do anything you want on this show. All right. Did I did I get everybody? I want the second deck, Shannon says. Patty gave me the first one. Oh, Shannon, she already bought it for you. Okay, Shannon, thank you. Trish, all these messages are wonderful. Thank you. I've closed in my ginger lemon tea daily. All fits with with what recently happened.
Wow.
I got to tell you, well, you know, you do readings with these, that the cards are never wrong. And I have to tell you, I'm not naming names, but I did reading yesterday, and this person asked me about their business and what they thought, you know, what I thought. What do the cards say about the business? And Jenny, they pulled fear, and literally like face went white, and I said, yeah, it's the fear of succeeding. It's the fear of feeling that you're good enough for this. And when we start putting all these, and I'm thinking about this: noni, expectations, cloves, anger, fear, seaweed, and worth, tamarind, all these pieces hold us back from so much, including what we think our body's capable of doing. And I know that our body is capable of doing many things, healing and creating longevity for us. Yeah. Yeah, sliding over. All right, so that's it. And if I miss somebody, having hibiscus today, you mentioned no. I can't. I don't know if I can read that. I, anyways, Denise, I can't read that exactly. All right, so if I miss somebody, let me know, and I'm going to make sure I pull a card. But here's what I want to say next, and it's just we're almost out of time. If you've ever considered, and this is more about food and tapping into it, because I know that my diet has made even another transformation since I've been doing yoga. But if you're wanting to know all the foods that we just talked about, and of course there's 60 more in the first deck, we have an upcoming training on March 3rd and 4th. And I've done this now throughout the years, and we haven't done one lately, but if you are in a position where you need some support and you really want to understand food and spirit and science and emotional, mental, physical, spiritual wellness, and learn about all these different concepts that we're talking about here today, we have certified readers here. Join us for the March 3rd and 4th certification. And if you would like to, I'm going to offer a scholarship for 50% off. And if you feel like you're absolutely called to take this course and need the financial support, write to me. Send me an email, hello@foodhealingdeck.com. Maybe attach a little video of what this course would mean for you. You can go to foodhealingdeck.com, watch the certification video. The course is all online, March 3rd and 4th. It's our level 1. And I'm going to offer one scholarship at half off. So if you feel that that person may be you, send me an email telling me why. Send me or video. And I'm going to select someone pretty quickly here, but you need to be available March 3rd and 4th, or you all can tell other people. And the class is 9 to 5, both Friday and Saturday, the 3rd and 4th. And it is absolutely life changing. And I think it's going to put you on the road to greater understanding of everything. And anything, I know that you're going to be taking it, Patty. I know we had internet, you know, with Ian knocked out all of our internet. So hopefully we'll see you in one of the future classes.
Yeah,
Yes, I know we will.
Yeah.
But if you want to know more, go see. We have a lot of certified readers here, now some soon to be level 2 readers. And then we have a big announcement about overall. So check back next week on our show. Something really cool to announce. Just for the future, if you're in the Florida area, I'm going to be speaking about eating for high vibrational wellness at the Illuminate Festivals in Punta Gorda and Fort Myers on March 11th and 12th. Come see me, come get some readings, get some decks. And then for those of you who are familiar with advanced theta healing, which I do, and Dr. Cheryl Friedman, she's amazing. She's a certified reader and advanced theta healer as well. We are teaching a conquering your cravings. And this isn't just food cravings, it's addictions, it's cravings, it's patterns, it's choosing the wrong boyfriend, whatever is going on in your world. We're going to help you get through it. And we're going to clear nearly 40 limiting beliefs that are sticking into your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual fields. And so look up on our website, March 25th, that is happening. And then again, April 29th. I know this is a lot. You can go to our website, but I want to have you in advance start thinking about some of these courses. Our crystal class is back. we did a crystal class that was so phenomenal with our certified reader, Allison Bright, that people like, we need to do another one.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. Oh my God. So we are doing that one again. The first class we did was with the first deck. Now we're doing it with the second deck. So that's April 29th. And we would love for you to all come. So if you want to reach out to me, please do. Again, hello@foodhealingadept.com. Patti, any last words you'd like to share with everyone? I don't know.
You put me on the spot. I love that.
Yeah.
I would just really encourage you to breathe as deeply as you can during the day. And most importantly, take time for you. That's a big thing. That's what it's all about. Take time for you. If it means just sitting still and looking out the window, or if it means turning on the music and dancing while no one's looking, do something for you every day. Self-care, so important.
He left out a really important one, which is
Yoga.
yoga. But
I
I'll,
don't want to be obvious.
I know. Well, I was going to say gardening.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. So I'm
That's
just going to leave
right.
you all with the fact that I had the absolute wonderful experience last weekend is to recreating our front yard and creating an intentional garden. So when we went to pick out what foods that we were going to plant, and I was really tuning into spirit, what do you want me to know? So we bought some big hibiscus. And, you know, hibiscus is our dreams card. It's like, yeah, I'm walking into my house every day now. What am I dreaming about so I can manifest? And when I leave at night, you know, so there's a whole thing going on. But then in the garden, I picked foods that I was told the spirits that I'm working on and obviously want to eat. And so being in the garden and being connected into the dirt and the soil of the mother and being in the sun and being able to eat my own food that's growing in my own home has been so amazing. Been wanting to do it for a while, but running around so busy. But you know, Martha here, Torrit, said, "No, let's get going." Like I love that. She's just so full of fire, like that tomato action card. And it's like, let's take action. Let's not talk about it. Let's not dream about it. Let's move it into fruition. So we did that, and I'll, you know, if you're friending me on Facebook, you can see the picture because we're gonna watch the
It's a
garden
cute
grow.
little garden.
It's a cute little garden.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Namaste to all of you, Shannon. Thank you everyone for being here. We hope we provided some good insight for you. And again, we'll put Patti's information there and mine, and we hope to see you at some future classes. And then midweek, we always announce what, oh, actually, I could tell you what's happening next week. Next week, we are not doing our Monday show because every fourth Tuesday of the month, we have my monthly show, and we have world famous Paraquat. And if you don't know who she is, be sure and tune in. I interviewed her in Thailand, and she is the ultimate goddess. I've been talking about her. She's not huge yet in the US, but she's huge in Russia and Australia and just about everywhere else. If you looked up Paraquat on YouTube, you will be blown away. This is the ultimate goddess, and she is a workshop leader, and she's an amazing speaker. And anyways, I got to spend a whole hour with her, and you will not miss this interview. So every fourth week, the fourth Tuesday of the month, I don't do the show on Monday. We don't do our weekly. So no, we're dark next Monday, but Tuesday, Nourish Your Soul Weekly will be live on the healthylife.net network. And you can go to our Facebook page and I'll have the information there. But this is an amazing interview. Really, really honored that I got to spend some time with her. And I know you will love her. Okay, that's it in a nutshell. Thank you. Namaste. Bye-bye.